Hey guys, welcome Still a Nation Live. Big Tiz, Big O. What's going on, Big O?
Merry Christmas, everybody. This is the holiday special here, live from Rochester, New York, www.steelnationlive.net. I'm Big O.
Hey, murder in a small town, a lot of kids affected.
Hey, can the Steelers get it together, Big Tiz? Is it too late?
Playoffs? Can the Steelers actually still have a chance to be in the playoffs?
The Immaculate Reception. Check it out later during the show.
Next up on Still a Nation Live.
Name of the future. And we're the name of the future. We're the name of the future. And we're the name of the future. Hey. Yeah. Shout out to Big Tiz, man. And Big O. We're Still a Nation, man. Yeah. Big Tiz. Big O. You know what it is, man. Still a Nation. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. Every night on Monday night, man. Hey. 7 to 8 on Monday night. Big O. Big Tiz. And it's your thumb. And it's Still a Nation. Big Tiz. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. Still a Nation. Big Tiz. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. Still a Nation, man. Yeah. It's your thumb. Big O. Yeah, I had to say it was a song, man. You know, it is a song, man. Yeah. Big Tiz. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Another edition of Still a Nation Live. Big Tiz, Big O. You know what? There are a lot of things that happen in the NFL, but, before we get to the NFL, let's get to real life and what's going on in the world out there. Big O?
Down in Connecticut. It's we don't want to dwell on it, but it just it's a sad situation. We hate to open up the show, sad like this, but Big Tiz, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, it's a sad, somber situation. We had anywhere upwards of 18 to 20 children that were killed in that situation. So, you know what? Not to hash bad memories, but that's something that we all had to give respects to. And I mean, there were teachers out there as well that were killed in this situation with this confused young individual that did this to these children. Unfathomable, unspeakable crimes that were committed out there. So, you know what, not to touch base on it heavily, but you know what, we wanted to give respect to those people out there as well and let them know that, you know what, the world is going on, but they will not be forgotten.
Yeah, also, we don't want to forget the medical responders, the firefighters, the police officers, the ambulance attendants, the counselors at school, teachers, everybody in the neighborhood was and will be affected by this worldwide. And because of this, you know how gracious the NFL is, Big Tiz. And it hit us hard, it hit the NFL hard, and, there's only so much you can do, and you can let the people out there, let them know that we care. And there's only certain things we can do, money-wise, prayer-wise, worship-wise, and also little things like players in the NFL showing their individualism, paying their respects to certain children, teachers who were certain teams' fans. In fact, Victor Cruz, wide receiver of the New York Giants, found out that one of the slain children was his favorite player, so he wrote that boy's name on his helmet. And all right, I can't.
Yeah, it's a lot of touchy situations out there. So, like I said, we're gonna go on with the show as well, though. But like I said, actually, one thing that's going on in Pittsburgh is the fact of Frenchie Fuqua. Frenchie Fuqua. I don't know if any of you guys remember from back in the day. Frenchie Fuqua was a legend in Pittsburgh. A lot of things for the Steelers. People don't remember him because he was so long ago and his career was short. But Frenchie Fuqua was the man who did who helped out the Immaculate Reception. A lot of people that I know, people I work with or whatever, are saying that, you know what, I think the ball hit the ground, but I beg to differ.
Well, we're coming up on the anniversary, Big Tiz, of the Immaculate Reception, and
And during this Saturday, I believe it is, there's going to be a big party there at the old Three Rivers Stadium at the actual site of where it took place.
Right.
Now, a lot of people, well, I don't want to say a lot, but we'll say at least 50% of the people don't understand that during that time, during the NFL, there was a rule. And the rule stated that if the ball hit an offensive player, the offense cannot recover that ball. So just say it hit off Frenchie Fuqua's shoulder pad
Right.
and was caught by Franco Harris, the play would have been dead.
Exactly.
But people are overlooking that to the fact, trying to say, did Franco actually catch the ball? So, and on top of this, we have a little segment me and Big Tips put together. We started off Frenchie Fuqua, where are you now? So we're gonna play a little soundbite of Frenchie Fuqua, and hope you folks enjoy it.
And famous collision. Frenchie Fuqua relives it over and over again, and has for the last 40 years. On December 23rd, 1972, the day of the Immaculate Reception, the one-time Gregorius Steeler running back who wore a flowing cape to highlight elaborate outfits remains a hit on the banquet circuit today. Fuqua's involvement in the play has made him a few bucks and has given him plenty of lasting fame and fortune through the years. Raider safety Jack the Assassin Tatum torpedoed into Fuqua as he was about to catch Bradshaw's fourth down pass. The ball ricocheted to Franco Harris, where he took the ball 60 yards for a touchdown with only 5 seconds remaining in the game. The Steelers ended up defeating the Raiders that day 13-7 to go to their first Super Bowl. John Fuqua played in 100 games, rushing for 3,031 yards and scoring 24 touchdowns. Fuqua lives in Detroit with his family, where he's been battling prostate cancer for the past 3
Frenchie Fuqua, the Immaculate Reception. You know what? That's a lot of Steeler folklore just for you Steeler fans who are not Steeler fans, just to let you know where it's coming from.
That's right. Wow. We tried looking for some of the outfits that he used to wear, but for some reason we could not find them.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, the games that went on this weekend were amazing. If you looked at a lot of things, there are a lot of must-win games for teams out there, and Pittsburgh was faced with a big must-win game this weekend, and they didn't pull it out. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Steelers.
They're following suit, and we talk about this over and over and over and over and over again, how the Steelers play down to their lesser opponents. Not saying that the Cowboys fall on the same playing level as the Chargers or the Chiefs or the Browns, but we are a superior team. Ben Roethlisberger put it well. If the Cowboys are America's team, then we're the world's team. And unfortunately, lately, we are not playing up to that caliber.
Exactly. And you know what? A lot of that has to deal with injuries and different things that are going on with Pittsburgh and as well. As like I said, our whole secondary, we have issues there. Ike Taylor's out with an injured leg. And, you know, we're fitting guys in like pieces of the puzzle, and we're trying to make that work. And right now we're having our issues, but you know what? A lot of things going on. But the Steelers made a big acquisition today. I don't know if a lot of you guys know.
Yeah, Justin King from the Indianapolis Colts. So you're a picture in a Rams uniform right now.
Actually, yeah, he did a short stint with the Rams, but actually a lot of it was with Indianapolis.
Right, and this is a young, upcoming cornerback, a young guy, 25 years old. Not really, people don't know a lot about him, but you know what? Pittsburgh does. And the Steelers aren't going to sign just anybody a warm body just to fill a role. The Steelers going out paying these people top dollar to do a job.
Exactly, and that's what the Steelers are doing. You know what? Hey, before I go on any further, I want to give you guys the website information. That's www.steelernationlive.net. And if you want to call into the station tonight, it's 724-444-7444. Caller ID number 115243. Hit the pound key. If you're a guest, hit 1 and pound. You like how I smushed all that together, Big O?
Oh, it's beautiful, Big Tiz. You haven't said that in a while because you know what? The Steelers have been playing like crap. And you know what? You can't say beautiful when it's like walking into a desert.
Exactly.
You know, as opposed to a nice, beautiful rose garden.
Hey, but like I said, we're going to get more into that game, especially against the Cowboys. But what we're going to do now, we're going to run down some of the NFL scores that happened over the weekend, besides the Steelers game, which I cried over all weekend. So we're going to get into there right now.
All right, Big Tiz, I'm glad you did it. This is my favorite part of the show where we hypnotize you with our spinning, revolving football. Last Thursday night, the Eagles let us down, being crushed at home against the Bengals, 34-13, which would have helped us out a lot. But you know what? We can't even help ourselves. Hey, continue on. Falcons 34, the G-Men 0. Is that true, Big Tiz? A goose egg for the New York Football Giants.
I believe the Giants can recover. They're one of those teams. They're resilient.
Packers 21, Bears 13. The Saints blow out the Buccaneers in another shutout, 41-0. The Texans continue to roll over the Colts, 29-17. Redskins defeat the Browns. This game was really close. The Browns came back 38-21, however. The Vikings win 36 over the Rams, 22. The Dolphins 24, Jaguars 3. And the Broncos, who can stop them? The Pittsburgh Steelers can, if you answer that question. They beat the Ravens in Raven territory, 34-17. Cardinals come back from that blowout, that embarrassing loss right before. They defeat the Lions 38-10. Seahawks over across the pond against the Buffalo Bills, 50. They put up 50 points against the Bills, 50-17 was the final score. Panthers 31, Chargers 7, Raiders 15, Chiefs 0. 49ers 41, the Patriots 34, and a nice comeback by Tom Brady and the Patriots, but they fell short. And last night, if you stayed awake, Titans 14, Jets 10. We got to talk about the Jets, Big Tiz.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We got to talk about what is going on.
Oh man.
I mean, you know, it's we're not scheduled to talk about that. We're like limited with time, but since they're so close to home, the Jets, I don't understand it. Sanchez couldn't hit the side of the barn if it fell on top of him. What is it going to take before? I mean, they put Tebow in for one series.
Exactly.
One series, and they're talking about throwing in McElroy to start next week if anybody's going to start.
Well, like I said, the Jets are a team that's filled with a lot of issues, especially, and it starts at quarterback. No, let's even go beyond that. I think it starts with the head coach, because right now, a lot of the things that he used to put on the table with his rants and his rave, and as you can see right now, everything is coming to fruition to where, you know, it was just a lot of hot air he was coming out with. None of the team respects him, it seems to me. The defense played a decent game last night. I will give the Jets that. But that's all you can give them. The offense showed nothing at all. And
well, they had a little spark when Tebow came in, playing with some injured ribs. A little heart for Tebow. I got to give him that much. But you know what? We now know that this publicity stunt with getting Tebow to New York, is that what it was? And you know what? Fell short. And it's a slap in everybody's face, the NFL's face, the Jets fans. We got Ed the Fireman.
Exactly. And the Fireman, many years as a Jets fan, this guy himself, I mean, he left the Jets as well, and the Jets seemed like they followed suit. I mean, unbelievable just to see the downfall of that team right there.
It's ridiculous. If Rex Ryan is hired next year as the head coach, if he's still on, Jets fans, you know what? Come on over to Pittsburgh. We'll love to have you. We'll give you some black and gold. You can cheer on a real team that you can depend on.
Exactly. Hey, you know what? Let's jump to Steeler news and updates. And one of the things that's coming out there is Mendenhall is looking to be reinstated by the Steelers with being involved in contract talks. So it's looking like he's trying to move his way back into Steeler land. A lot of people thought he was on the outs because of the way things went down. he wasn't the starter for a game, and I don't know, he took it upon himself not to show up for the game. I don't know what's going on with Mendenhall, but right now he looks like he's trying to work his way back into being a Pittsburgh Steeler.
I tell you what, I think Tomlin and Richard kissed and made up. I think, it's, you can't let your emotions, take over you. This is a very emotional game right now in this part of the season. It's very emotional. People say things, and when emotions flying, it's very frustrating. In fact, there's a lot of talk going on about Roethlisberger, what he was saying after the loss. As Mike Tomlin said, it's very frustrating. And when you speak, when you're frustrated, you don't really understand what you're saying. And this talk about he wasn't happy with the play calling from Todd Haley. When you lose, and there's so many reasons why you lost. You try and grasp at straws. You try and make sense of something. And sometimes you say things that you don't really mean because it's the heat of the moment. And I understand that. And I believe Ben has his plan. And we just have to sit back and, wait for it.
Exactly. Well, like I said, not beyond that as well, the Steelers had more key injuries to players.
Oh, absolutely. But we had key comebacks, too. We all remember this guy. You can't remember his face yesterday or Sunday because he has a full beard now. I think he's trying to compete with Brett Kiesel, but you know what? He's back.
Yeah,
David DeCastro is back. And, he, like you said, Big Tiz, you hit it right in the head. He looked a little rusty, but you know what? After the injury that he sustained, did anybody actually believe that he would be back?
Yeah, David DeCastro, you got to give it to this guy. And just like the Vikings running back, Adrian Peterson, he's returned to do well from knee surgery, knee injury. And this guy, they're both young guys. So I look for this guy to flourish in the Steeler offense. And I think that he will do well and he will continue to do well. And, the good thing was, this happened early on in the end of the season, early on in his career. So I think that's something that he can possibly put behind him and move forward and be a great Steeler.
Oh, I believe it too. A lot of other news going in there. If you heard any rumors about Todd Haley leaving next year, folks, it might not be a rumor. It's they're looking for a head coach, and we all know that Todd Haley coached their offensive coordinator, or was he the head coach at Arizona? I can't remember. A few years back, and you know what? If that's the case, then we'll just look for a new offensive coordinator. I mean. But right now, we have to deal with the task at hand, as Mike Tomlin would say, and that's against Dalton and the Bengals coming up Sunday.
Actually,
1 o'clock.
Huge game. The Steelers have to be up for this game. They have to be prepared mentally as well as physically for this game. Because, like I said, the Bengals are coming with everything, and I don't blame them. You're in a playoff atmosphere with this game, and I mean it's still a regular season, but it's a must-win game on both sides. So we have to come out mentally ready. So the Steelers haven't been doing that. They've been letting a lot of little things get in their way of winning games, so they have to cut the mental errors.
Oh, it's unbelievable. But the big thing about last game was no penalties.
That was huge. For a Steeler team that used to average at least early on in the season 8 to 9 penalties a game.
And that's been done before. Pittsburgh did play years ago. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I've got so much stuff to talk about. But Steelers did play a game with no penalties and end up losing 20-10 was the final score. I can't remember. Maybe at the end of the show it'll pop into my head, but it has happened before in the NFL.
Well, you know what? The Steelers are looking like their line is starting to get together. DeCastro came back, and like I said, DeCastro, first game back, excellent job. Granted, there were some big sacks that were given up early, late in the game against the Cowboys, but it's a work in progress, and I believe, like I said, that things will start to gel, and hopefully starting this week with the Bengal game. But as in that game against the Cowboys, as you can see, we got a little bit more problems than that, and it starts with our defensive backs because Romo took full advantage of them.
Oh, absolutely. We got Josh Victorian just came off the practice squad, had to take his what's that called, the penny, that shirt you wear over your jersey to identify. He had to take that off and run into the game. It was ridiculous. But the Pittsburgh works on the mindset that practice player, starter, whatever, you need to be ready. You need to be ready when that phone calls. You answer it. We need you now. You have to go in there. You have to perform like you've been doing it for weeks.
Right.
So obviously we didn't do that, and Romo took full advantage of that. I can't remember the last time a quarterback threw for over 300 yards over Steelers. I can't remember that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of injuries that play into that as well.
And Ike Taylor's going to be gone for at least one more game. Folks, he did remove that boot off the foot, which is a good sign he's walking on it. But we don't want to rush it into because we do have to win both games.
Exactly.
It's not Cincy we're in, Cincy Cleveland we're in.
Right.
It's not over until the end of the season, and you know, all the chips are on our. We're holding the cards, Big Tiz. We got the Royal. I don't gamble. I don't play cards, but I don't know, Royal Flush. I don't know if that is that good or whatever. Is that the big hand to have?
Well, like I said, right now the way things are going is like we're trying to play every hand we can. But a lot of things I did notice in that game against the Cowboys as well is the fact that the Steelers didn't use Miller to his full effectiveness. And they did that in the first half, but for some reason, they got away from it. Is it the fact that you know it's working, so you get away from it? I don't understand that.
You know, we have more questions than answers, Big Tiz, and you just add that to the list. When you have something that works, why won't you stick with it? I mean, if it ain't broke, why are you going to fix it? There's a lot of things, and we talk about this. Let's line up the losses and the win column, okay? Let's look at the losses and how we lost. Okay, mental miscues, mental errors, turnovers, not running the ball, and falling back in that we have to pass mentality.
Right.
All right. There's 7 games right there that we lost. Now let's go over to the other side, the win column. How do we win these games? We won by running the ball. We won by play action passes. We won by no huddle offense. Granted, 3 games we had a backup quarterback in there, but you know what? Like we talked earlier, Big Tiz, this is what the players on the bench need to do. They come into the game, they have to pick up where the other guy left off. There's no reason why Charlie Batch can't run a no huddle offense. There's no reason why Charlie Batch can't throw a screen pass. You know what? We're having problems with the O-line, Big Tiz. We talk about this in our meetings. If we're having problems blocking, let them blitz. Let them come in. Save your energy. Throw that screen pass, the short pass game that Haley's supposed to brought into Pittsburgh. The only time we win is when we utilize it. The only time we win is when we throw to Miller.
Exactly. And like I said, that's the short passing game. That's as good as a run because that opens things up because the DBs actually have to step up a little just to protect, just in case if a short pass is caught, so it's not going for a long distance. But like I said, Pittsburgh, for some reason, we get away from it, and I don't know. I'm going to say that right now that a lot of it has to gear towards Big Ben as well, and Big Ben has to step up and take full accountability of, not doing things the correct way sometimes. So I don't know if it's the fact that he's going through this feud right now, which is the worst time to go through it with Todd Haley, but the game comes first. No matter which way you look at it, the game comes first, and he has to realize that.
And another thing we haven't talked about, the Steelers in the past 4 games have not scored a touchdown in the first quarter. Now, we've always professed 60 minutes of football. You play to win 60 minutes. That also means when you start from the beginning, it's not, hey, let's ease on into this game.
Right.
You know what? We can't play catch-up. Once we get the ball, we have to score. Once we get in that red zone, we have to put up 7 points. 3 points, not good enough. You know how I feel about that. 3 points is good, but it's like kissing your sister. I mean, it's nice. You want to show the love, but you know what? Enough is enough. You know what I'm saying, Big Tiz? We have to score. We have to put teams away early. And another thing, a big factor of why we've been losing these games is our offense hasn't been on the field as much. We have been averaging 24 minutes a game, Big Tiz, in the last 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
last 3 we lost.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact of the run game. The run game being non-existent, that's one thing that hurts the Steelers because that's a form of ball control, and that's exactly why Big O and myself were actually discussing that about the short yardage passing game, which is the same as almost a run because it controls the clock and it's high percentage passes. So the Steelers have to profess and stick to this. You know what? But we're going to step right into the Steelers score against the Cowboy game, but we're going to go to commercial right now. When we come back from commercial, we'll give you a full update on what happened in that game and the actual scores in that game on Steeler Nation Live.
Beautiful.
SteelerNationLive.net. It's live. Join Big O, Big T every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. New Year's only in-depth analysis of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Black and gold. Game review. Injury report. Intrigue. Releases. Who got fired? Fantasy football. Rumor. Anything and everything you want to know about the black and gold. SteelerNationLive.net.
Uniform Express, located on 1408 Buffalo Road, Rochester, New York, for your police, fire, or EMS supplies. One of Rochester's top and finest suppliers of shirts, pants, shoes, boots, and accessories for your professional uniform needs. Uniform Express also does embroidery and screen print for team uniforms, jerseys, and corporations. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also go to their website at www.uniformexpress.com or call Brian at 585-529-4245. That's 585-529-4245. And let Brian know you heard his ad on our show, Steeler Nation Live.
All right, guys, back with Steeler Nation Live. Big Tiz, Big O.
Merry Christmas, folks. It's almost here.
Actually, you know what? We decided to let you guys know. We decided to do our Christmas show a little early, only because, you know what? The Christmas week's going to be kind of hectic for people, but we want to let you guys know that we are here. Steeler Nation still thinking about you. So, hey, we'll keep the show rolling.
Big Tiz, you out there?
Hey, we're here.
All right.
Hey, in the game stats from the Steelers versus the Cowboy game. Entertaining game. I will say the most about that. Great game. Probably one of the better games of that day. Granted, the Steelers came out short, but it was a great game.
It was
no matter
crap.
where you put it.
It was crap. I don't care. You paint it, you dress it up, put a fancy little suit on it, Big Tiz. It's crap. We lost. And what makes it bigger crap is that we didn't have to lose that game.
Right.
We had that game. We won that game. In my opinion, the turning point of that game is when we were up 24-17. The Cowboys just had 3 and out. We're getting the punt, and we fumbled the punt. It's ridiculous. The amount of points that teams are scoring off our turnovers is ridiculous. Crap. Is that the word? It's the word of the day. No, I take that back because it's a Christmas show. We're doing a Christmas show, and but it was crap though.
Well, you know what? There were 2 key things in that game that actually killed us in that game. So I don't know. That is one of the aspects that killed us in it. But there are 2 key things. But the Steelers overall, we did actually well on offense. 388 yards of total offense, no penalties. That's huge.
No penalties.
That is
right.
huge for Pittsburgh.
That's right.
Especially with a revamped line again. And the 2 turnovers are what killed us. But the time of possession, 27 minutes.
We're doing good. 27. It's one more series of downs. I don't know. It's still ridiculous. The 2 penalties. We do things right, Big Tiz. If we're gonna mess up, we're gonna mess up good. Let's figure it out. Like we just talked about the fumble from Brown, and then the what were you thinking throw where Roethlisberger you just try to squeeze things in. That's fine. It's easy for me to be a Monday morning quarterback and say, hey, Ben shouldn't have thrown that ball.
Right.
But you know what? You shouldn't have thrown it. It's just you're in overtime. Don't take those chances. Single coverage, I don't know. But double, yeah.
As you can hear to discuss. But anyway, the Cowboys, they had a big day on us. 415 yards. A lot of it was Romo throwing that ball around with those hurt DBs. And I don't blame them. The Cowboys did what they needed to do to win this game. And, they had 8 penalties for 61 yards and still won the game. We had no penalties. But those 2 key turnovers are what killed it.
Yeah, and a couple other things, Big Tiz. I believe that we abandoned the run too early. We were down by 7 points. Not detrimental. It's earlier in the first half, and Roethlisberger's throwing the ball like we're down by 4 touchdowns. Wrong answer. And also, I believe that the reason why Romo had all day to throw back there is for some reason Dick LeBeau has Harrison in the coverage. All right, he's fast, but you know what? You can't cover somebody when you're only, 5'7", and you're trying to cover a tight end that's 6'4". I mean, you're there. You'll be able to tackle him. But, I'd rather have you put some pressure on the quarterback and try and get to him before he can throw the ball, and let your D-backs, let your cornerbacks, let your safeties worry about that. I mean, we have to put more pressure on the quarterback, and I think that's what's killing us.
Yeah, that was a lot of what was killing us. And actually, the Cowboys had the ball for 34 minutes and 24 seconds, and that was huge, and that was a turning point. Some of that was overtime, and the rest of it was the Cowboys. They had a decent run with 81 yards from their running back. And, that's a little bit of ball control what they did on us. And it was some converting a couple fourth downs. And, Murray, 14 for 81 and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
And Miles Austin, he had a decent day, 7 for 79 yards. And Des Bryant with a broken finger. But granted, that was on hurt defensive backs that are new to this game for Pittsburgh.
Right. We did have an early defensive stand in the first quarter when Harrison stripped the ball from DeMarco Murray. That could have been devastating.
Yeah,
that could have put us in a deep hole. But the defense stood tough. But like I said, because Dick LeBeau has got to do some kind of different defensive schemes, because he's got to get those outside linebackers in pressure. He's got to develop some more schemes, some more zone blitzes, something to put pressure on the quarterback to take a little tension off these defensive backs.
Well, I mean, a lot of the owners are, like I said, we got a lot of injuries, and those are the things that it's doing. Actually, Woodley was just to return this game as well. I'm not sure if he played last game, but I think he was just back this game. And that's another guy that's trying to get into the job mode of back with the defense, back on the plays, doing what he needs to do, what he's used to doing on the field. So those are a lot of huge things on there. But you know what? To finish up the game stats, Wallace, good day from Wallace. Actually, with the long bomb he had, 4 catches for 95 yards was huge for Wallace.
Yeah, he gave me 9 points on my fantasy team. I didn't win, but.
And here's the key kicker, Miller, tight end for the Steelers, 7 catches, 92 yards, and you don't go to this guy in the second half. Are you kidding me?
That's all first half stats. Folks, call in. Let us know what you think. Give us your opinions on what you think the Steelers did. Well, we don't want to talk about that. We know what they did wrong. But what can we do to change for next game? What do you feel that we need to address? What are your problems? What's your Christmas wish look like? All right. Have you been naughty? Have you been nice? Let us know. Call the number 724-444-7444. Enter the code 115243. Hit the pound key. Wait. Press 1 for guest, and you're on. Tell us what's going on. Where you're from, what's going on down in Pittsburgh. You're from Pittsburgh. The Oliver family down in Virginia. I hope you're listening. How y'all doing down there? Anybody on the West Coast, give us a shout. Let us know how you're feeling about the Pittsburghs right now and the Steelers right now, and where you think we're heading for next week. Are we going to make the playoffs? Do you think we deserve to be in the playoffs?
Yeah, and that is a good question, Big O. And let's go to the defensive side of the ball as well. And you spoke on that. The defense only ended up with 1 sack and 1 fumble. I mean,
that was a huge fumble, but you know what? That's at the beginning of the game. 60 minutes. You play to win, gentlemen. You play to win. It's great that you came up with that big play, but you have to be consistent. You got to play consistent football.
Exactly. And the pressure has to be there on quarterbacks, because if you make these quarterbacks move out of the pocket, which he is a good mover and passer, but you have to keep that continual pressure. And the Pittsburgh defense just hasn't done it. And the Cowboys sacked Ben 4 times, but I can live with that, because a lot of it is Ben holds the ball sometimes. So that sometimes give teams free sacks, to me, to be honest. And you know what? I mean, I can live with that. But the 1 interception and the 1 fumble, those are the other 2 turnovers that actually killed the Steelers. And they'll probably almost, at this point, until Sunday's game, just about killed their season.
Right, and we'll talk about sacks for a second. We had 4 sacks, 2 big sacks. We could have won this game in regulation. We had the ball deep in Cowboy territory, but back-to-back sacks put us out of field goal range. And then he had that monster punt return. So it's special teams. We haven't talked about you in a while because you haven't been so special. And, you know, if it wasn't for Swisham, you know, we'd be beating the special teams too.
Exactly. Well, you know what, guys? Let's give you a quick injury report about what's going on with some of the injured Steelers that we have out there. And there's been a lot of them, and it's getting to be a old sad song for the Steelers. Actually, even going over last year, the same type of injuries, and these are big injuries that's costing the Steelers games.
Now, Mike Adams, you all know he's out with the ankle. He didn't practice. Folks, this is all for Sunday so far. Who practiced today, who didn't practice, and the outlook for Sunday at home against the Bengals. Cortez Allen didn't practice as well. Plaxico Burress, light practice. Now, he missed the game the other day, and it wasn't due to an injury. It's not injury related. We're still trying to figure out what's going on there. Our sources from Pittsburgh have not gotten back to us. So hold tight on Plaxico Burress. I don't think it's anything major, but he is an intricate part of this red zone offense if we can get to the red zone. Willie Colon, he didn't practice because of his knee. Keenan Lewis, he is out right now.
Wow.
Things could change. He was playing with that hip, and he's I don't know. They say he's out. Troy Polamalu, he's full practice. So, you know, he's not existent. He's not existent in defense. We haven't heard his number called, but you know what? He's going to come through like he always does when it's needed. Steven Sylvester, linebacker, he didn't practice. Ike Taylor got the boot off, did not practice. I see him playing against Cleveland.
That sounds possible. I'll give you that. That sounds possible.
If we don't win it against Cincy, I don't see him playing in Cleveland. And that's pretty about that's about it right there, an injury report. Other than, you know, the injuries, you know, it's just, I can't talk about this anymore. This is ridiculous.
As you can see, that loss has affected a lot of Steelers in Steeler land. So you guys, you know what? When we come back from the commercial, we're going to go to our hot topic for the night, and this is about drug testing in the NFL. So when we come back, we'll talk about that on Steeler Nation Live.
It's Spaghetti Sports Pub, located at 2246 East River Road. A perfect blend of Irish charm and Italian cuisine. From Calabria favorites like calamari to chicken French, to the new signature dish like the Steel City Deli.
The Rothless Burger.
Everything is delicious and prepared fresh for you. They offer a full lineup of your favorite beverages with drink specials daily, and don't forget their $5 Monster Bomb.
Ice cold beer.
All day, every day. With 2 floors of seating and 20 high-def televisions, there's not a bad seat in the house to catch every minute of the NFL action.
Watch what you want.
McGinty's is the official home of the Rochester Steelers fan club.
Steelers!
So come on down to McGinty's Sports Pub, 2246 East River Road in Henrietta.
At Grease Lightning, we offer fast automotive service, specializing in oil changes and auto repairs. We offer a convenient yet comprehensive maintenance and repair service, fast and no appointment necessary. At Grease Lightning, we offer the best prices on top name brands. We get you in, out, and on your way, just like Grease Lightning. Grease Lightning is locally owned and operated, so come on down to 2061 Chiley Avenue here in Rochester and talk to Charles because he's in charge. You can also call Charles at 585-563-7939 or go to our website at mygreaselightning.com.
Hey guys, welcome back. Steeler Nation Live, Big Tiz, Big O.
Hey, what's going on? I love that hat you got, Big Tiz. I
like
don't know
that,
if you can see it, but it's an official Pittsburgh Steeler Santa Claus hat.
For you guys on the audio side, you know what? Just wanted to let you know what's happening on the air. So, you know what? This is a big hot topic that's going on in the NFL. I'm going to let Big O dove right into it and get it going.
Try not to bore you too much, but I think this is a huge topic. And basically, Big Tiz, what we're going to discuss right now is steroids in the NFL. You know what? I'll play a little devil's advocate, you know, and you can chime in and let me know how you feel on this. But why? What does it matter? Okay? We talked about this in our meetings, and, you know, there's reasons for everything. But say like you every morning you get up like you do and you work out really hard. And you work out really hard, and you eat right, and you exercise, and you got the big body, the muscles that you got right now, and you got me, okay?
Right.
Don't have time to exercise. You know what I mean? I just don't feel it's necessary. But I take a couple pills that could give me the power and strength that you have. Why should that matter? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate on that. And
Go
the
ahead.
fact is, because when a lot of people see that there's something that's a quick fix, they want a piece of it. And when you see something that's a quick fix, you're going to have younger guys that's going to see it as a quick fix. And these quick fixes always have that downside to it, and the downside is almost horrific on any of the quick fixes. Now, I understand what you're saying. You know, if it's my right, it's my choice to do if that's what I choose to do. And who are you to tell me that, you know, that's not my right? But that's what I see a lot of it is. And they're thinking of the younger factor, which are the younger guys that's out there playing football now that might even start getting into this, taking these drugs at like 13, 14 years old. But I do understand what you're saying. As an adult, I should have the right. That's my choice. If I sign off on to use these things, or knowing that, you know, there are a lot of pills that we take now out there that the side effects are worse than what the pill's supposed to cure.
Oh, you got a really good point there, Big Tiz. Another thing I want to hit on is that I can understand if you want to cheat. I would say that's cheating because you're not going about doing, you're down here, you want to get up here, but you want to get it the fastest way possible.
Right.
I can understand that. But here's what I don't understand. The testing for the drugs, you're on some kind of medication. You have to literally be a scientist because there's many over-the-counter drugs that you can take for colds, for flu medicine, that will say you take some NyQuil and you get drug tests next morning. You were sick. That's going to blow you in, and you're going to get, no matter what it is, anything comes up positive, you're going to get busted for it. And now there's a drug that's out there now that's given to many, we'll use children as an example. It's called Adderall. Adderall's for ADHD children.
Right.
Okay, and that's to focus the child, to calm them down or whatnot. Now, an offensive tackle from the Washington Redskins, I was just reading this today, he's suspended 4 games because he tested positive for this, for this drug. It's a banned substance, okay? It's not like the NFL didn't know he was on it,
right?
Because you have to give all your prescriptions, any medication you're taking, you got to get to your office, and it's got to go to the NFL. It's not like a big surprise where he's buying these pills in some dark alley. You know what I mean, Big Tiz?
Right.
This is something that he needs for himself. It's not to advance him in any way. It's not to make him stronger. It's not to make him more fast. It's not going to enhance his job at all. It's going to enhance him as a person because it's a specific medication for him. He's not, shooting up in the locker room. Hey, this is going to make me stronger. And there's many medications out there that will give a false positive to these tests.
Right.
And just a little rundown on the NFL's new drug testing program. It includes provisions under which all players will be tested for human growth hormone, HGH, at least once a year and possibly more times, the league said. Tests for the growth hormone requires a blood sample. And the NFL will be the first major American sports league to carry out blood testing at the major league level. League officials also said Saturday that this season, for the first time, drug tests will be conducted on game days.
Wow.
On game days.
You know what? While we're diving into that, and we're talking about what do you feel about drug testing in the NFL? How would it affect? Why should you care if that guy wants to take it or not? I want to get some feedback from you guys out there. Actually, I'm going to get one of the callers online here on Still a Nation Live and see what feedback we get from them. How you doing, caller? This is Big Tiz and Big O on Still a Nation Live. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. What's up, Tiz and O? This is Naj, man.
Hey, Naj, how you doing, brother? Hey, good to hear from you, brother. How things been going?
Oh, everything is good, man. I know you've seen that beatdown we put on the Giants, man, down here in ATL, man. Everything is good.
You know what? We got a lot of Giant fans up here, brother. And you know what? The feeling is they want to give it back to you. So, you guys did a little payback from last year. Hey, you know what? I want to give it out to Naj. Naj has actually got his own radio station. Naj, give everybody a little feedback about your radio station while you're on the air, brother.
Yeah, you can check us out tomorrow night, Wednesdays at 10 p.m. It's called Speak It Like You Think It Radio. It's on TalkShoe.com, show ID 54787. And, you know, we just kind of get into the conversation, man. It's a little rowdy, a little loud, but good arguments, man.
Oh yeah, we checked you guys out a couple of times, and you guys I like it. I like it though. It's a good feedback. Like I said, it's a good feel, and you guys got to check them out. I'm gonna let Big O step to you real quick.
I like your round table you got there, Naj. Hey, how much of the show you listen to tonight?
Well, I just logged in to see you guys were on, so I had to call up.
Now, earlier we were talking about Frenchie Fuqua. You remember this gentleman?
No, I don't. The name sounds familiar, though.
It hit off Tatum's head or something, and then Franco Harris, he took the ball and ran it 60 yards for a win. Now, you're on the radio side, right, so you can't see the pictures?
I can pull it up, but the only reason I know that name now that you say that, because my father was a Raider fan, so hearing about that play was always just a lot of cussing and a few names, so that's why I remember the name. Okay.
Now there's two people. There's two sides to this. Well, there are actually three sides to every story. There's his side, my side, and the right side. Now, you can ask anybody from Pittsburgh, was that a catch? And they're going to say yes, obviously. And if you ask them Raider fans, they're going to say no. But what they overlook, as me and Big Tiz said on the show earlier, is that the big thing is, where did the ball hit? That should have been the first key. Whether he caught it or not, it's irrelevant, because back then they had the rule, the NFL had the rule that if the ball hits an offensive player, another offensive player cannot catch it. So if it hit Fuqua first instead of Tatum, that play shouldn't have happened. But everybody's directing their attention. Was the ball caught? Was it trapped? What do you think? Let's hear your opinion on that. Did he catch it, Naj, or what?
Man, I mean, just with the recording that we have from NFL Films, I think it was, where I think Sable talked about it a lot, talking about the angle that they had. I mean, it is what it is, man. I say it's a catch. It's before my time, but I'm going to have to roll with what was called on the field, man.
That's what we say. Up here, after further review, play stands on the field, it's a touchdown. Irregardless of what the referees talked about after the catch, if we don't call it a touchdown, we'll never make it out of here. So let not... True story, Naj. True story. Don't let that, change your decision on whether you think it was a catch or not. And even Frenchie Fuqua, in many, many interviews, he refuses to. He sidesteps the issue, which I don't know. You call it like you want. I'm a Steeler fan. The ball was caught. Touchdown. Steelers win. That's all I gotta say.
hey, but Naj, I got one more question for you. Because our hot topic for the night was drug testing in the NFL. I mean, and should you really care about it, or is it your right? And if that's what you want to do, to feel like you want to gain size over another individual or not, do you think that's your God-given right to be able to do that?
Well, yeah, I would say yes, and I want to add this too. I would say a lot of people should check out that interview that what's his name, Joe Rogan did with Victor Conte, so they can get a better understanding of the old school steroids and this stuff, HGH and all these other performance enhancing things, because it's a totally different thing, and I think it will be more accepted within the next few years. A friend of mine, the great Philadelphia sports writer Michael Tillery, had a great article in the New York Times talking about us kind of getting used to this being the new normal, because I think if they start testing across the board in every sport, I think people will be shocked to find out how many people are actually using some of these type of agents.
Just for a little, I don't want to get too deep into stats here, Naj, but if you got a second, let me read this to you. Steroids. Let me tell you how many different steroids are out there. This is in accordance to the Major League Baseball, so it's privy to everybody in Major League sports. Let's see. There are, as far as steroids go, there's over 70 different types of steroids and growth hormones that you can take. As far as stimulants, these are illegal too. As far as illegal stimulants, there are over 54 illegal stimulants. Now, this is according to Major League Baseball. Now, I think the NFL is only testing for HGH and some type of bloodborne pathogen, something, illegal. It's in your body. But this is ridiculous. And
well, let me just add this though. Victor Conte, like I said, who is the authority on these type of things, because hell, he got away with it for so long. He knows what he's doing. He said point blank, if it's not 24/7, 365 testing, random testing, then it doesn't matter, because you can get it, cycle off it, and it won't be in your system anymore, and there's no way to see that you used it. So unless you're doing it year round, it's pretty much just to, kind of say that you do testing, because it doesn't matter. So it's okay. It's nice that they're saying they're going to do this, but the guys who are using, it's an IQ test. It's not a steroid test. If you're smart enough to use it right and follow the instructions, then you won't fail the test, because you'll be off it by the time testing comes around.
Hey, Naj, like always, brother, you giving up good information, good info to us here on Steeler Nation Live. You are the man, brother. Check Naj Radio out there on Wednesday nights, 10 o'clock. Speak it like you think it. I believe that's it, ain't it?
TalkShoe.com.
That's it, man. Thanks a lot. I'm going to hang up and listen to you guys, man. Always good show, man. Good job.
All right,
brother.
You take care.
All right.
From Atlanta. Love it down there.
Yeah, but like you said, though, I mean, he had a lot of good points there. And, Naj on the show, if you hear these guys on Wednesday nights, they have a lot of good topics that they throw out there. And much respect to those guys. And, like I said, that's a big thing here in the NFL is, like I said, the drug testing and the drug testing policies that go out there. So a lot of guys out there, and I do agree in some aspects that it is your God-given right to take these things if you want to take them, but the side effects from them are crazy.
Yeah,
and
you just got to know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
Tiz, do you think that the NFL should police this, or you think it should be left to the teams to decide who gets tested, when they get tested? I believe it should be the teams.
Well, no, I believe they all should be tested, but you know what? You have to sign off on if this is what you want to do. If you know what, you know the rules of this game, you know the rules when you sign up to play. Just like in any workplace that you work at.
True.
They said you can't smoke the little happy weed, then you can't do it.
But you know what, Big Tiz, looking into and doing all the research I had, there's over 400 things you can get online or at your local grocery store that could alter drug testing. So do you think that's going on? Do you think that's prevalent as well in the NFL? I mean, these guys make money, a lot of money, more money than me and you put together that we'll see maybe in our career doing our other jobs that we can't say. But you know what I'm saying? I think they get the heads up. I think they random tested guys who they really honestly believe aren't doing it for the sake of the team. And I feel horrible for the offensive tackle. What's his name? Jordan. I apologize. I know his last name's Jordan. He plays offensive tackle for the Washington Redskins. He cannot play 4 games. Now, if the Redskins make it to the playoffs, he cannot play in the next 4 games because he's on medication. I think there should be some kind of standards. If it's legal medication, you should be able to take it, especially if the NFL is aware that you're taking this medicine. You know what I'm saying, Big Tiz? Over 400 ways to cheat a drug test. And
exactly. And they had a good point here on the radio, and he just said that if they're going to test a few times a year, it won't matter because they would just cycle off and pass the test, which is a good point right there. These guys they'll know what to do, how many days in advance or whatever, because they let them know when tests are coming up.
That's true.
So these guys know they get into that routine and they know how to prepare for these tests. So that's one of the main things out there about it. Hey, we want to thank you guys that are on the board texting in. We want to thank Naj Radio from Atlanta, Hotlanta, for calling in and checking us out on Steeler Nation Live. Hey, we're going to go to commercial. When we come back, we're going to give you our game preview for the Bengals. And after that, we're going to give you our final thoughts for the night here on Steeler Nation Live.
And don't wait, callers. If you're on the phone waiting on hold, we'll get to you when we come back from our commercial. Hang tight. We got to pay the bills.
Excellence is your only option. Look no further than Supreme Limousine. For any special occasion or need, Supreme Limousine will be there for you.
weddings, proms, wine tours, sporting events, bachelor and bachelorette parties, just to name a few. At Supreme Limo, they know how difficult planning a big event can be, so leave your worries behind because Supreme Limousine will give you peace of mind. Call Rich at 585-425-3711 and set up your special event today. Serving New York and parts of Canada for many years and through all of New York's worst weather, you will get to where you're going on time and safe. When you need a ride, Supreme Limousine is on your side. So call Rich at 585-425-3711. And at Supreme Limousine, you get supreme service, not a supreme price. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, look no further than Dan Powell. Dan knows that buying or selling a home is one of the most important things you will ever do. Dan wants to make that experience as smooth and successful as possible. Dan's extensive expertise in the real estate market will benefit you whether you're looking to buy or sell a home. Once Dan knows what you want, he will work tirelessly to find the right home for you because no one should compromise when it comes to such a huge purchase. Whether you're looking for homes for sale, moving resources, or even mortgage information, everything you need is right here with Dan. Dan will always be available for personal service by phone or email, so feel free to contact him with questions at any time. So when buying or selling a home, don't get frustrated or throw in the towel. Just call Dan Powell at 585-704-8324. That's 585-704-8324, or email Dan at dan@rochhomefinder.com. That's Dan at ROCHOMEFINDER.com.
Honey, I just found a great new place to take us out to eat for breakfast. Critics Restaurant, 906 West Main Street, Rochester, New York. Critics is the ultimate in family breakfast dining. And if you're a Steeler fan, hey, you found the right place, Critics Restaurant. Critics Restaurant has been a neighborhood fixture in Rochester, New York for over 40 years. Good food, good fun. Critics Restaurant, 906 West Main Street. Come check us out.
Welcome back, everybody. Steeler Nation Live.net. I'm Big O with my partner, Big Tiz.
Hey, you know what? We're going to keep the show going, but actually, before we go into that Bengal game preview, we want to see if we can take one more call because we got a call that's from up here in Rochester, New York. How you doing there? This is Big Tiz, Big O. How you doing there, caller?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, brother. You know what? If I know who this is, I think this is Mr. Cowboy Central himself. What's going on, Cowboy?
Oh, Steeler hater is back.
You know it, boy. It's me. There's Cowboys in the house.
Hey, you know what? We actually had Naj Radio on earlier. He was a dirty bird from Atlanta, and, you know, he was happy about his win against the Giants, and I'm pretty sure you're going to come on here and you are going to boast about your Cowboys. We took the hit. We took the beat down this week, so you know what? I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about it. So what do you think about that game? I know it's an evenly figured contest, but what is your feelings on that game?
Well, I tell you, this is the honest to God truth. I was nervous. We did everything in our power to give you guys that game. For example, when DeMarco Murray, when we were about to punch it in, I believe it was second down and goal. He wound up fumbling the ball, and you guys get the ball at the 8-yard line. I was really flattened by that. The game had me nervous. I was sitting on the edge of the seat the whole time. Well, it was a real good game.
And you know, the bad thing was, like I said, it was a great game, and it came down to the 2 turnovers, and that was the deciding factor in the game. A well-played game on both sides, and like I said, the Cowboys, they did what they needed to do to stay in it and win it and try to hopefully advance in the NFL playoffs. Now, you know I'm saying all of this with hurt and disgust on my face, but I'm going to say it right now. You know what? I got to give it to you, Cowboys. Great game, great win, and I'm saying that on Steeler Nation Live. I'm going to let Big O talk about it because he looks a little hurt over here.
Hey, they're still here. It's going a long time. No hair. I'm kind of curious. What took you so long to call the show?
Well, you know, I know your pain because
2 years ago when the Cowboys were in Steelers' backyard. I mean, we had that game, but we let it slip out of our hands. And this year it was vice versa. I mean, you guys had the game. That kid Brown, I believe that's his name. He ran an awesome kickoff return, punt return back. However, the guy stripped him and he lost the ball, and that was one of the turning points of the game. Besides the interception that Ben Roethlisberger threw, that was one of the turning points of the game. And the reason why I'm calling is I'm going to be humble. I mean, that was a exciting game from start to finish. It could have went any way. It could have been the Steelers pulling that game out, and I'm fortunate that the Cowboys were able to pull this game out.
Yeah, you're right about that. Fortunate. Well, I gotta tell you.
Now I'm trying to be humble. Now, don't mess it up.
Hey, don't get me wrong here, Steeler hater. We appreciate the phone call. We appreciate your time, your busy schedule, calling up and letting us know how our team lost. And with that being said, where do you think the Cowboys are going to head in the playoffs? How far do you think you're going to get?
Well, first of all, we got to get there. It's going to be a dogfight. I'm sure New Orleans isn't going to lay down for us. They're going to be playing, and they're going to be playing for pride. And if they can spoil the chances of any team making the playoffs, I believe they'll do it. If we pull that out and beat New Orleans, then we got to go to Washington, and that's going to be a battle. Each quarterback throwing close to 400 yards on each side. It's going to be a heck of a battle. If we're playing Washington for the NFC Championship, it's going to be a battle. RG3 is no joke.
Now, let me ask you this: if Naj is still listening down there in Atlanta, what do you see if you guys meet up with the Falcons? Now, you seen last game what they did to the Giants, to the New York Football Giants. If you ever meet up with the Falcons in the playoffs, give me your take on that. What's the outcome going to be?
Well, like I said, if we meet up with the Falcons, it's not going to be a pushover. I believe it can go either way. I'm not fully sold on Atlanta yet, because some of their weaknesses have been exploited. I'm not fully sold on Atlanta. It's gonna. We owe them one. We owe them one. We owe Atlanta. So it's not going to be a blowout game.
Well, actually, that was a good contest when you guys played each other. It was a tight game. So, you know what? To be honest, that might come down to it this year. You never know. You know, regarding if you guys make the playoffs, Atlanta, the Falcons are already in. But, you know, that could come down to it, and it could be an interesting contest as we speak here tonight. So, like I said, if it goes down that route, and hopefully Pittsburgh's still in it so we could be on the air, we want to have both you and Naj calling that night. You know, we keep the beefs and the battles going here on Steeler Nation Live as well. So, you know what? Hey, Cowboy lover, we appreciate you calling the Steeler Nation Live, but stay on the line because there's a lot of other things we're going to talk about tonight. We're almost at the end of the program, so we just want you to hang on for a little bit, and we'll get back with you.
You take care, Steeler hater. What do you think about, before you go, what is your take on the Ravens?
You know, the Ravens are hurting right now. Their defense is hurting. For example, you saw how Reed was acting on the sideline because the defensive backs were in. Well, basically, the whole team was getting burnt. Their quarterback couldn't check anyone. Ed Reed was frustrated. However, they're getting Schultz back and Wade Lewis. So I think they're gonna look strong, and I believe they're gonna beat the Giants. I can't see them losing 4 straight games.
I can.
All right, Steeler hater.
See, that's called wishful thinking on your part.
Caller,
but I don't see them.
Caller, you're breaking in. You're breaking. We can't.
All right,
Steeler, man.
hater.
Take care. You have a good night out there down in Dallas or wherever you in Dreamland.
Hey, but you know what? The Steelers playing the Bengals this week for all the marbles. Playoff game in the regular season. They gotta love the NFL. Woo! What must the Steelers do to win this game? What must the Steelers do? And they gotta win it.
Well, you know what, Big Tez? The number one thing the Steelers have to do, they have to show up. They just can't be there. You know what I mean? Like the last 3 games, you just can't go through the motions. You just can't get out there in the field. You can't expect things to happen. You have to make them happen for yourself. And it proves that the Steelers, the past 3 games, they haven't been doing it. They're not getting it done. And what we have to do right now is we have to clean the slate. Stop pointing the fingers. You messed up. They all messed up. The whole team messed up. All right? It's time to regroup, Big Tez. It's time to get out there, clean that slate, start fresh. Here's what we did wrong. Let's learn from it.
Well, like you said, I agree with you totally. A lot of it has to deal with the Steelers having to get that run game going. That run game controls the clock. That run game and those short passes, the Steelers have to stick to it. The no-huddle offense has got to be a big part of this as well. And Ben runs it good, but like I said, right now he's in that iffy part right now where he's starting to get into it with his offensive coordinator. Not healthy. These things have to change.
Well, you know, it is healthy in a way. You know what I'm saying? If your quarterback is holding in these emotions and anger, hey, jumpstart your offensive coordinator. Let him know you're not happy with it. Obviously, he's not saying that these plays are not working. All right, so maybe this will get somebody going. Maybe you'll get Todd Haley going. Maybe he'll be able to to get that dink and dunk back in. I don't care. Laugh if you want. Call it stupid, but you know what? Dink, dank, dunk, whatever. It worked, and we won 7 games because of it. We didn't run up and down the field when we won them 7 games. It was a team effort. We controlled the clock on the field. We ran the ball efficiently. When that didn't happen, we did the short passes. Heath Miller was a huge contributor to, and then when we had to air the ball deep, we did. And that's why we have 7 wins, and that's what we have to get back to beat the Bengals. And let's not forget, Big Tez, the Bengals, obviously they want to beat us because we're division rivals, but let's not forget the fact that the Bengals need to win this game as well, because if they lose this game, they're out. We win the game, we're in. However, we still have to beat Cleveland. Bengals win this game, they don't have to beat anybody else. They're in. We have to beat them first. Let's take it one step at a time, one game at a time. What do you think about the Bengals aspect there, Big Tiz?
I agree with you exactly. And a lot of it has to do with the Steelers having to start this with creating turnovers. And this is the prime time for the Steelers when they get into that hard game mode. Create turnovers. Turnovers, turn them into points. At 7 points, not 3 points. Touchdowns are what win games. 3-pointers, they win them when they're close. I want the Steelers to take control of their destiny and act like it's starting this weekend, which it is. Right now, you're at ground zero. No matter which way you look at it, you have to get it done. And like I said, the Steelers have to start giving the ball back.
And,
you know what I mean?
And over almost 100% of the turnovers that we have given up to opposing teams have scored an average of 17 points a game on us. 17 points without even doing anything, really. It's just if we don't give them a chance to score, they won't. We keep the ball, they won't score. We create turnovers when they have the ball, they won't win. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, Big Tiz, to figure this one out. Just play Steeler football. Smash mouth football. Do not abandon the run. And Todd Haley, anybody, Tom, when you're listening to this broadcast, you know what? We're not trying to tell you how to do your job, but we kind of are. You have to look at the facts. You're too close to the project. You got to think outside the box. Do whatever you got to do, but you have to get back to winning games. You have to get back into that mode that got you to 7 wins.
Big O, let me ask you this. What do you see as a final score for this game, hopefully with the Steelers coming out on top?
Our offense wakes up. 31-17. 31-17. We wake up. But let me write this down, Big Tiz. I'm going to write this down.
That's it. I like it. Taking a stand. He's writing it down here on Steeler Nation Live, 31-17. And you know what? I'm going to piggyback off their score. That sounds like a good number there. And let's do it this way. Let's make it correct. 31-17 with the Steelers winning 31-17.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I leave that factor out? We win 31-17. And the only way we're going to do this is we can't play catch-up. We can't do it. Even though we got the 2 big ketchup bottles in the end zone.
And Heinz Field.
We can't play catch-up. Control the game.
Actually, we had a good question on the board from Naj, and he asked, are you guys going to keep Todd Haley? And that's a good question. Right now, Naj, it looks like Haley is actually looking to move on from the Steelers after the season. So that's some of the reports that we had. And I'm not sure what's going to go on there. And I think a lot of it comes from the rift between him and Big Ben. But I definitely thought that he ran the type of offense that we needed, especially to keep Ben healthy. And Ben has to realize this guy with these short yardage passes, with this type of short offense, is what the Steelers need to keep things going and to keep Ben upright. And he has to see that. And I know he has in his mind he can still do it like when he was young, take the hits and this and that. But that's exactly how you end your career, and you have a short career. Just ask Michael Vick.
Right. And when Todd Haley came to the Steelers organization, knowing his history with the team and knowing that Leonard Pope, the big tight end from Kansas City, he knows how he plays. He's coming back. He's coming to Pittsburgh with him. I expect nothing but greatness. So far, mediocre at best. Todd Haley has not put Leonard Pope in any type of game plan for the Steelers. It's either Heath Miller or nothing. Feast or famine, and you can't play like that. Heath Miller has been the driving force of this offense this year. When you utilize him, he does great. When we don't, look what happens. And you can look at all the replays, you can look at all the game films that you want. It just doesn't make any sense how you cannot utilize this talent that we have. It makes no sense.
Hey guys, you know what? We're gonna go on to the final segment of our show, which is our final thoughts. And what I'm going to do on our final thoughts, I'm going to let you guys know what my true feelings are, especially this week after the Steelers, especially crushing loss to the Cowboys. And number one, it starts with the big loss with the Steelers losing to the Cowboys. And number one, I'm going to put the onus on Big Ben. Big Ben has a lot of things to make up for. Ben has been coming up short in a lot of big games this year. And if you haven't caught some of the games, especially game number 1 out the box, when Big Ben threw the big interception against the Denver Broncos, the big interception back for a pick 6. Then against the San Diego Chargers, Big Ben actually threw a late interception there when we were trying to drive. And I know a lot of it has to do with the injuries that have been going on with Big Ben. Big injuries this year. A lot of things have been hampering Big Ben. But it does not matter. When you're in that game and you're in that clutch, you have to be that player that wants the ball. A true champion wants the ball any chance he can get it. And Ben has to see that he needs the ball and he wants the ball. And back in the day, Ben used to be a big godsend for the Steelers. People loved Ben. They looked up to no matter, Ben could do no wrong. But right now, Ben is doing a lot of wrong. And the Steelers are known and prone for giving up big plays to no-name defensive backs, especially what happened back in the day with Neil O'Donnell in the Super Bowl, throwing that interception to Mr. Brown, an unknown defensive back who actually ended up with a big payday from the Oakland Raiders and later was released anyway because he was a bum. And we did the exact same thing in this Cowboy game to another Cowboy, Carr. Carr took that interception, went back. I know I'm blazing right now. He took the interception and went back. I'm seeing on the board, Steelers haters throwing up there, wah, and it is wah.
Oh,
but
geez.
You know what? Everything right now, the onus has to be on Big Ben. Ben, stand up, take your faults, move forward, and play the game like you know you can play. I can't see Ben being the man that we let go. Ben is a stable for the Steelers, so he'll be there no matter what. But Ben has to stand up and take that hit, get up, and keep chucking. Like I said, fix what you got to fix with Todd Haley, and hopefully we can keep Haley around and keep Tomlin around. And I don't think Tomlin is the issue right here, but the Steelers have to step up and do what they need to do. So, like I said, I can see the Steelers winning this game, but they have to stay mentally focused, and they got to keep it up here, and they got to keep, physically be ready. So that's my take for the night. My final thoughts for the night about the Steelers: they got to be in it to win it, and that's the only way you can be in it.
Wow. How can I follow that one? How can I follow that one? I think the Christmas tree's on fire. Holy cow! Get the fire extinguisher out. You know what? All I can say is this, Big Tiz. That's me right now. For folks, if you're on the radio side and you're listening, you can't see, check out the show later. This is a picture of Bill Cowher. Happy.
Exactly.
This is Bill Cowher happy, folks. And if you look at the face and you know Bill Cowher, that chin, that scowl, that is how I'm feeling right now, especially after the loss to the Cowboys. I mean, the straw that broke the camel's back. And folks, I can tell you this till I'm blue in the face. It's just like listening to a broken record. And I talk about it every week, and I'm going to come down to a little level. It's going to be opposite day. Usually Tiz is quiet and calm, but he's on fire right now, and I got to take his side right now. But there's a couple things that we need to do to win this ball game, and we talked about it earlier. Just show up, not just show up, but show up and play. We could win. We will win if we run the ball, establish the run, set up the screen, set up the play action, set up the long ball. Now, if we can play, if anybody knows college football, I've been watching Alabama and talking about how can Notre Dame defend Alabama. And Alabama's got a great offense. They have a great running game, and they also have a great passing game that a lot of people don't understand. Tight offensive line. Let the running backs run through people over them. Don't spread out the offensive line. Don't hit the gaps. Just smash mouth football up the middle. And what that does is that brings the defense in tight, which opens up the field for Ben to make those long bombs to Wallace, to Brown, to Sanders, to Heath Miller. Let's start that off. No huddle. Haven't seen it in a while. I think the last time we've seen it was 2 games or 1 game before Ben went down and Charlie Batch came in. It works. I don't understand why we're not using or utilizing it. Use the play action. If the offensive line has trouble with blocking the D-line, let them come in. Why waste your breath? Why waste your time? Let them rush in. Let Ben throw the ball. And by doing that, that's going to relieve the pressure because the defense is going to be guessing the whole game. Is it going to be a screen? Are they going to throw it long? Are they going to run it? So that's going to give Ben some time in the pocket. If the defensive line thinks that we're going to throw a screen or a bubble screen or a short pass, that's going to be huge.
Right.
Don't turn the ball over. We've been losing games because all our turnovers have been leading to points for the other team. Like I said earlier, average of 17 points a game scored on us because of turnovers. We need to force turnovers, okay? We need to force turnovers and score. Even if it's a field goal, we have to get more points. And you know what, Big Tiz? A little secret out there. If you have more points than the other team, folks, you win, okay? If it takes field goal, touchdown, whatnot, if we get a turnover, let's utilize that. Let's use it to our advantage. Let's score some points off that. How about some gadget plays? Now, I'm not talking about a fake field goal or, maybe a fake field goal. How about a fake punt? Something to keep the special teams, the defense on the edge. All right? Even if it doesn't work, you want the defense to be guessing because then you could run plays off these gadget plays. Let's make it entertaining. Let's make, get everybody involved in this. And folks, the Cowboys, the Chargers, the Browns, the Titans, Ravens, they didn't beat us. The 7 losses on the right-hand side of the column, nobody beat us. We beat ourselves, especially the Cowboys, with the fumble, with the interception. Come on, folks. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, Big Tiz, it's probably a duck. I mean, we should be sitting on a one-loss season right now because, just for charity, we'll give you a loss. But if we don't kill ourselves, we're going to make it. We're going to be raising that Lombardi trophy this year. I'm telling you, Big Tiz, it's not look at the facts, just the facts. Look at it. How we won those 7 games and how we lost them. Night and day, folks.
I like that. Big O. Big O stepping up. Big words from Big O. Hey, guys, like I said, another edition in the books, Still a Nation Live from Big Tiz and Big O. We had a lot to say there, especially, long show. Long show tonight. We went a little long because we had a lot of things we wanted to get out on our chest, especially with the Steelers and basically a win game that they have to win, and we got to put it out there in the line, so everything has to be there. So, you know what? And plus, we're going to be off for that Christmas week, so we want to let you guys know what we're thinking and let you guys know we are here to support you here on Still a Nation Live. We're always going to be here on Still a Nation Live.
That's right. Merry Christmas. Hey, we're not going to be able to talk to you guys till after Christmas, so I hope, because I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for you, and I apologize. We hope that, you folks have a Merry Christmas, that all is well and safe with your families, and, just hug your children tonight, folks.
Exactly.
When you get home.
Exactly.
When I get home, and you're already home at Tisdale Mansion. But anyways, if you're listening to the show and you got kids and they're not home, give them a call. Tell them you love them. And give them an extra hug and kiss tonight. Read them a story before they go to bed. Just let your kids know that you love them.
Hey guys, so like I said, another one in the books here on Still a Nation Live. So it's coming from Big Tiz
and Big O
on Still a Nation Live. Till we see you guys next time, hopefully with a win in Still a Land.
Merry Christmas, folks. Be safe.
Yeah. Shout out to Big Tiz, man. And Big O. Still a Nation, man. Yeah. Big Tiz. Big O. You know what it is, man. Still a Nation, man. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. Every night on Monday night, man. Hey. 7 to 8 on Monday night. Big O. Big Tiz. And it's a song. And it's Still a Nation. Big Tiz. Big O. Big Tiz. Big O. Still a Nation. Big Tiz, Big O, Big Tiz, Big O. Still a Nation, man. Yeah. Mr. Stomp, Big O. Yeah, I had to say it was a stomp, man. It is a stomp, man. Yeah. Big Tiz, Big O, Big Tiz, Big O.